Hello, I'm Adam from Apco, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble and adjust the Paramotor pod. The Paramotor pod has been designed for Apco harnesses, but is suitable for most harnesses on the market, with the exception of bottom-mounted rescue harnesses. The Paramotor pod has a top side with a zipper, and the bottom side has an opening. When coming to assemble it and to adjust it, first make sure that you are adjusting it upside towards the top and downside down. On the side of the skirt, you will find two sliders, plastic sliders, and you have to take them off the pod. First step is to connect the skirt and this slider to the harness. Okay, so the position, if you have no other option, you can always put it around the strap that goes into the arm, just above the chest strap, like so. But it is recommended, if you have an option to connect it higher, to connect it really close to the position where the arm is connected as well. So first of all, what you do is you take this and put it around the carabiner or just under the arm, and then you put it through the skirt webbing. On the two sides of the skirt you have a webbing like so, and then you take this strap, put it under the webbing, and put the ladder through. In that way, both the skirt is connected to the frame and the ladder is connected to the frame. Next, you do it on the second side. So you take the other strap and you do the same on the other side, like so, making sure that the front is facing the pilot. So as it was done before, we put the webbing through the strap here and put the slider inside its own webbing, looping it like so. Then what we do, we open it completely and we take a look and find the internal part of the pod. Inside you will find these two adjustment straps. We make sure that the right one goes to the right and the left one goes to the left, and then we just put it through the slider like so. On that webbing we have marking points which will help us to adjust later on. Okay, for the moment we just put it about the middle, and then we will see how to go from there. If we flip it inside out now, we can see that except for that strap here, we have another line. That line goes on the harness. On that line we have a second loop, stitched loop. This one we put on the harness and then we adjust it with the line. So on our harnesses we have loops on the side, especially for that, on the front of the seat. If you don't have that loop, you can always put it through your webbing for your flap or whatever is in the front of the harness. But if you're using one of our harness from the latest editions, you will have this loop, and it's recommended to connect it like so. So do this on this side and the same on the other side. Okay, now when we have everything connected on the harness, we can flip it properly and just make sure that we take the line directly and not through anything else. And then what we do is just lock it, knot it like that. We have a knot on this line. It is pre-knotted. but not necessarily the length that you need. This can be adjusted later. We do the same on the other side. Always make sure that you don't take it through something else. Okay, the next step is to connect the lines to the bottom of the harness and the bottom of the frame. The two outside lines here goes to the harness, and the center one goes to the frame. The only reason to do it otherwise is if you cannot connect the center one to the frame, you will connect it to the harness. And if you don't have on the harness, if it's not an Apco harness and you don't have position on the harness to connect it to it, you can connect everything to the frame. But be sure that you make the outside lines loose enough so it doesn't pull on the skirt. I will show you later what happens if it's pulled and how it looks like. So the center one goes under to the frame. We are connecting it down here. We put the loop on the center at the bottom, and then we connect the line. The knots themselves can be moved to adjust for your height and the adjustment of the skirt. Okay, connected like so. Okay, and the two sides are being connected to the harness, the loops that are on the harness, like so. The knots themselves can be moved to adjust for your height and the adjustment of the skirt. The next step is to take the magnet from the front of the pod and put it on the chest strap of the harness. This is being done by opening the Velcro in the front and reattaching it on the chest strap. In that way, when you take off and land, you can connect the front of the pod to the magnet and it's not interfering with the legs while running. If you are using a speed bar, you have the option to connect it to the front of the pod. At the front of the pod, you have a loop that is suitable to connect a line to it or a bungee cord if necessary. To get into the harness, usually it's done when the paramotor is on the ground. Then you open the zipper on the top and just go in from the top. After assembling the pod, you must always do a hang check. When you do the hang check, of course the motor is already hanged. It would be easier to just enter from the bottom of the pod in order to check. Always use an assistant to take a look and see that your angle is correct and to adjust your angle and length of the pod. If you don't have an assistant, you can always take a picture with a camera or a video camera to see that you're hanging correctly. You just sit in the harness like so. When hooking into the harness, always remember to connect your leg straps and your chest strap before closing your pod, because it is very easy to forget that if you're not used to fly with a pod. After connecting your chest strap and your leg straps, what you do is you close the zipper in the front and also the small connector at the top of it, and then you check your position. Your position should be such that it gives you some comfort for your legs. and the legs are not positioned too high or too low. If you connect it wrongly and you pull too much on the skirt, you will have a diagonal wrinkle that will look like that. If you have this, you should know that you should release one of the lines connecting the skirt at the bottom of the harness or to the frame. Correctly adjusted pod will be relaxing your legs and will keep the angle of the pod and the motor about the same. If necessary to adjust it, you can always use the straps here located on the side to tilt it up or down like that, or release to go a little bit down, or you can pull and release the cords that are connected at the bottom of the seat. Incorporated in the side straps, there are two adjusters that are located here. You can pull or relax them in order to choose your fit angle and like that have a more relaxed angle for your legs according to your preference. After adjusting the pod, please make sure that your angle of the motor is correct. When putting the legs out, your angle changes a little bit. As you can see, it changes a little bit forward, and therefore you must make sure that the angle is not too much to the front and you cannot get your brake handles into the prop or the risers pushing against the motor. Takeoff and landing, of course, is being done when the pod is not in the front and connected on your chest strap. To do that, if you're in the air and preparing for landing, first do it at a safe high altitude, not close to the ground. Then you take one leg out and take the front of the pod and put it on your magnets that are on the chest strap. And then you stand up and be prepared for landing. Of course, after takeoff, it's also connected here in front. What you do is simply release that at a safe altitude and put your legs in, like so. If you wish, you can always use a speed bar. A regular speed bar will work fine, and if you want a different speed bar, is also possible. The speed bar that I'm using does not need connection to the front. It is a Wonder bar and it stands quite comfortably inside the pod. So if I drop it, it is inside now, and I can reach it with my leg and pull it, as you can see. And I don't need the front connection. But if you do use a different kind of speed bar, you can always connect it to the loop in the front with a bungee cord. Whatever harness you are using, always make sure that your reserve is free of the pod and is not going to be interfered by the assembly of the lines of the pod underneath or anything else. So everything is clear all the way up to the drive.